Hello guys, and welcome to another chapter of GSX Level 2 tutorial. Now, this chapter I had to redo it a couple of times because I couldn't manage. On the first time I did it, I didn't explain at all what the consequences of the parking position was. On the second one, it was too complicated, and I hope this is the last one I have to make it. So, okay, there's an issue with the parking position, and I'll explain myself. Now, in the real life, if you park your plane and you leave it at the stop position where it says that you've parked on the right place and it should say there stop. Okay, the way I have the plane right now is like I haven't touched. I restored the original configuration of this parking position. I just left the jetway the way I liked it. But the rest is everything as I would find it on a global customization without fine-tuning this parking spot, okay? Now, I'm sure you know by now that when you enter the plane by using the go-to when you start your sim, you're going to end up your cabin and you're going to find that you're not on the right stop position. This doesn't say stop there, okay? Which is kind of confusing because it's not realistic at all, because that's not the place that the previous pilot would have left the plane on. And the only way to have this solved, it would be actually, there's three ways, okay? The first one, because, hold on a second. Now, I've shown you what the parking place is. You should never mess around with it. This is just a reference for you to know where your plane will be placed when you go in the simulator, okay? Don't touch this position, don't move your plane. You can only mess around with the stop position. Now, you see that they're not the same. You see the plane jumps forward and backwards. Okay. Now, if we had an option, and you'll understand this first one when I finish this chapter. If we had an option here, that number 8, that when you enter the cockpit, you tell the GSX to place the plane on the stop position, then we could have everything solved. Now, we can't have that because we don't have the option. But we can do is take two different roads, okay? Now, there's one road that it's to go to the stop position and move around the plane until you're in the cabin and you're going. This says it's too far, so let's go backwards. Let's go. Okay, now, in some places you need to go all the way back because the plane is not aligned to the left, as you see now with those zebra lines on, or to the right. You need to leave it where it says those two lines. Okay, now it's aligned to the parking spot. Okay, and now we have to go forward to leave it where it says stop. Okay. Okay. Hold on a second. Now, okay. Now we've placed the stop position to match the artificial intelligence of this docking device that comes with the scenery. It has its own artificial intelligence, and it has a pre-programmed stop position, which is this one. Okay? When you enter the configuration, you're going to find out that very rarely you're going to find the stop position to be able to please the docking device. Now, this is why I say that if you place the plane on the right stop position, saying stop here, and you had an option 8 here, saying take me to the stop position, it will take you to, when you enter the simulator, to the stop position, which is the place that the previous pilot left the plane on. Now, the third approach, now the only problem with this one, let me say, is that you end up with two different plane positions. Okay, you'll end up with a parking position that you cannot mess around with it, and you'll end up with your new stop position. Now, they're two different geographical positions, and in most of the cases, the jetway will be able to please both. Okay, now, if you press number 5 on your numeric keypad, it's going to ping. Okay, and this is something that you use to test that when you enter the simulator, the jetway, you see it says right here, is going to be able to go to door number 1 or number 4. We don't need number 4, of course, because you will break the wing, but it means that the jetway at the starter position when you enter the simulator, which is the parking position, it will be able to go in here. Now, we also have to test it on the stop position because it's not the same parking position. Now, if I want to test that stop position's operability regarding to the jetway, I would have to press number 5 here again. Now, it is true, as Humberto says, that being such a small distance between both of them, usually this jetway will be able to accomplish the docking of those two parking positions. It is true, but it's not always true. Like, for example, if you go into this terminal Tango all the way over there, I've created some double jetways parking spots, and they need to be very small jetways. And I found out that in those two different parking positions, one of the two jetways was not capable of going to the door I wanted. So having these two parking positions, the stop and the parking position, different. First of all, you have to test in both positions the jetway, and you have to be playing around with the jetways sometimes, and also the vehicles, which is kind of a pain in the neck. Now, the third approach, which is the one I'm using now, and I'm changing all the configuration files that I'm sharing with you in the full category, and all the new full sceneries that I'm sharing with you in the link below, are going to have this approach on now, and also testing all the pushback positions, which is kind of difficult and it takes a lot of time. But now, the third approach, what I do is I'm going to substitute this docking device by one of GSX. Now, the GSX parking system, here I'm going to show you, I'm going to use F3 and F2 to switch between the different docking device. Now, this is the one I like, okay? Let me make sure it's the one I have. Okay, yeah. Yeah, now this one has, you see, an L shape. I don't want that one. I want this one right here. But you can see better in here I want the wall mounted. This one is the one I like, okay? Because it matches the size of the one behind him. So I can hide the original one. And I use the arrows to place the parking, you see, the parking docking device on the right spot, to the left, to the right. You use the Q letter and the Z to be placing this device on the right position. Now, this one has its own artificial intelligence that is owned by GSX. Now, for this docking device, the stop position would be, the right stop position would be wherever we tell the plane the stop position is. If we tell him that this is the right stop position, that's where it would say stop position. Okay? Now, in this case, since we can change the stop position to any position we want, we might just as well match it with the parking position. Okay? Yeah. So then now we have only one place where the plane will be. Now, this is the original AFCAT position when you start the simulator, and this is the ending position. Sorry. Okay? Now, this third approach will make you have only one spot that the plane will end. Thus, you only need to test your jetways on this parking position. It works perfectly. It says right there 1L. And yeah, so and now when you enter the plane, this is going to be off as it is in the real life. These devices are only turned on when you're parking a plane, and they will automatically turn off when after a few minutes that you've parked the place and you left it on the right position. Now, if we exit the configuration and we test that this is correct, we use the Y key, it says here slew, so we can move the plane to whatever place we want to go, and we're going to test that this docking device works on the right place. So we're going to tell him to activate the ground forces and the docking device for Tango 16. We're not going to warp there. We're just going to tell him to activate this. And you see now that since we are approaching the parking place, this is active, okay? So let's pretend we have our engines on and we're moving the plane with a slew position. And we are going to properly park the plane. I have already selected in the GSX the option and the settings that it will tell me these numbers right here. So I can know how am I doing into, this is not very realistic, you should have it off actually. See, I went too far, okay? I'm going to leave it. Okay. Stop position. Okay. Now, if we go into the customize this parking position and we go to the stop position, this should be the same one. And this should be where the plane is parked right now. You see it matches? Everything matches. So now it's perfect. Now we have a stop position, a parking position that is the same. The jetway works. And this is not going to tell us we're in the wrong place when we enter the plane. I hope you understood this tutorial, and see you now in the next one where I'll go into detail on how to fine-tune any parking position. See you.